it's Emma here, and I want to say welcome. Welcome to the challenge. This is going to be the taking the ow out of elbow challenge, which I thought was quite appropriate. So, congratulations on being here with me and taking this first step to healing your elbow. So, this is going to be a 3-day challenge. So we're going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week. I'm going to be going live at 9 a.m. Pacific, which is 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. UK, and I think it's the middle of the night in Australia right now. But every day this week, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be going live at 9 a.m. my time. To teach you a little nugget about healing your elbow and tennis elbow. So I love that you're here. So just while we're getting a few more people on, if you can drop in the chat where you're from, so I know where you're from, and we can see where people are from. So I am obviously from the UK, you can probably tell from my accent, but I do now live in the US, which is why this is 9 a.m. my time. So where are you guys watching me from? Because I know you're watching. Don't be shy. Come on and tell me where you're from. Vegas, not too far from me, Randy. Not too far from me. Yeah, London. A little further from me right now, but obviously not too far in the past. So love that you're here. Leicestershire as well. Hi, Will. Yay. Love that you're here. All right, great. Now, this is absolutely completely interactive. If you guys have questions, you've got me right now. It's not often people can get me. So you guys have got me. If you have questions, ask them, because I'm here, and I'm here for you guys. So if you do have questions, bung them in the chat and I can ask them. Poland, live in Iceland. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, gosh, do you know, we were planning a trip to Iceland. That was going to be our trip. Actually, not this year, last year we were going to go. And we never got there. But my goodness, we've got many friends who've been. It's absolutely gorgeous. When I see those pictures, and it's on my list for sure. So yeah. Right, so what I did a challenge like this back in September, and I've changed it a little bit this time. So back in September, I kind of went through a little bit of this is what tennis elbow is and that kind of thing. This time what I did, I asked the group. So I came into the group, I put a post up and I said, what do you guys want me to talk about? What burning questions do you have? And so that's what I'm going to answer this week in the challenge. So today I'm going to talk all about ice and heat and what the difference is and when you do one and when you do the other. So that'll be today. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about exercise, weights, lifting, should you, shouldn't you, if you should, how should you. So that'll be tomorrow's topic. And then Thursday, I'm going to talk all about nerves. We've had quite a few members recently in the group with sort of nerve issues and nerve symptoms. So I'm going to cover everything nerves on Thursday. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to go over. But like I say, if you guys do have questions, then let me know, because I'll definitely answer questions at the end. Okay, so very quick caveat is I'm at home, I did the cardio challenge last month when we were out and about. Harv and I would be out and about walking and I would talk to you guys. Right now I'm at home. Both my kids are on online school. So you may hear somebody shout for mom at some point, but I think we're okay. So, but bear with me if we do. All right. So ice and heat, what's the difference and which should you use? This is probably one of the biggest questions that I do get asked. And, both are useful at different points for different reasons. So when most people think of injury, they think, oh, let's get some ice on it. That's what an injury needs. And that's correct in the very early stages. So for example, if you have just started feeling your elbow pain, now would be the time to use some ice on it. Ice can be really good at decreasing swelling, inflammation, irritation. But once you get past that very initial early stage, its effects and its usefulness tends to lessen a little bit. And that's when I switch people to heat. Now, heat is incredibly useful at increasing the circulation, and that's what we use it for. If you heard any of my lives from last month when I was doing the cardio challenge, the reason I advocate cardio exercise is that it increases your circulation. The reason we need to increase the circulation is that tendons have a very poor blood supply. And in tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, the tendon is the damaged or the injured tissue, and it's the tendon that we need to heal. Now, tendons, just the way that they are made, don't have a very good blood supply, so they really struggle to heal. And that's why something like tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, any kind of tendon problem can last for a long, long time. And you know, I've worked with clients who've had tennis elbow 5, 6, 7 years. It can last for an awful long time if you don't do the right things at the right time. Now, if you do the right things at the right time, you can heal it way faster than that, obviously. But one of the biggest things we really have to do is increase that circulation to the tendon, because that's how a tissue heals. With that increase in circulation, that increase in blood flow, the blood brings the building blocks for healing that the tissue needs for healing. If you don't have that blood flow coming in, you don't get the building blocks for healing, that tissue's never going to heal. And that's part of the problem. So getting that increase in circulation is vital. So the way that we can do that most effectively is with heat. If you think about it, if you put a heating pad on, leave it on there for 10 minutes, when you take it off, the skin underneath is quite pink. We've got the circulation going. That's an increase in blood flow to that area. That's what that is. And cardio exercise will also do that too. So, you know, some people will say, well, I've always been told to put ice on an injury. And ice to a degree will do that too. If you leave an ice pack on your elbow for 10 minutes and take it off, your skin's still going to be pretty pink underneath. It just isn't quite as effective as the heat. Now, that's not to say that you should start with the heat. If, for example, and again, this is one of those slight caveats, that slight difference as well, is that if you have had tennis elbow or golfer's elbow for a long time, and then you flare it up. And the most common thing, especially right now whilst we're in lockdown, the most common thing is when people are renovating their houses, or they're doing yard work, or they're doing, it's essentially unaccustomed activity. It could be they're cleaning out the house. It could be they're moving house. You know, I have clients right now who are moving houses. And it's that unaccustomed activity, packing all those boxes, lifting all those boxes. I had a guy laying a patio, you know, he was laying a patio because that's what he decided that he was going to do whilst he was in lockdown. It's things like that, unaccustomed activity, that can flare up your symptoms. Now, if you get a flare up of your symptoms, you can absolutely switch to the ice, because you're going to get that increase in symptoms for a particular reason, whether you've lifted something or you've been doing that essentially overuse. So if you flare it up, you can absolutely switch back to the ice. Ice is really good at decreasing irritation, inflammation, and swelling. So if you feel like you have irritated it and, oh my goodness, I'm really feeling it, 3 days of ice. So 3 days of ice will settle that down. At that point, it'll be perfectly safe to switch back to the heat. And even with an acute injury, say you go out today and you roll your ankle, 3 days of ice, and then you can switch to the heat, as long as it feels comfortable. Now, some people actually prefer the ice. It is a tiny proportion, you know, it's a tiny percentage of people that prefer the ice. Most people do prefer the heat, and especially as those of us in the northern hemisphere are heading into winter time, you know, autumn and winter, it tends to be kind of nice to get that heat on rather than the ice. But if you are in that small percentage of people who prefer the ice, stick with it. You know, if your body's telling you that, that's completely fine. Most people prefer the heat, and the heat is really good at getting that increase in circulation and also relaxing the muscles off. Many, many times, no, I'm not even going to say that. Every single patient I see who has tennis elbow or golfer's elbow has an increase in muscle tension, because pain will do that to you. If you're in pain and it's uncomfortable, we all kind of tighten up. Stress muscles will tighten up. The forearm muscles will tighten up. That tightening up pulls on the tendon, irritates it even more. Heat's really good at relaxing off that muscle tension. So that's part of the reason that I advocate heat so strongly. If you have been in this group for a while, I hope you're already using the heat. You've probably heard me talk about it already. If you're new to the group, please start using heat. Heat is an absolutely fantastic method, and it's so simple. You know, it can be, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on a heating pad unless you want to. Permission to go shopping is completely fine. But it can be a hot towel, it can be a hot shower, it can be a hot water bottle, it can be a warm blanket. You know, anything like that counts. If you're going out on your cardio exercise, you know, when you're outside walking, your body temperature goes up, you're warm, you know, we're getting warmer. That's great. It all counts. So I like people to try and heat 5 times a day. Every day, no days off. And this is for rehab. And it's a little bit like why I do the cardio exercise every single day. It's not for fitness, it's for rehab. So we want to be doing it every day. We don't want to take any days off rehab. You know, we want to heal this tendon. Why would we take a day off to not do that? So we don't. It's every single day. 30 minutes of cardio exercise. If you're not used to it, do build up. And I will be doing a cardio challenge in December. But if you're used to it, 30 minutes of cardio exercise every single day. Now, there is a little caveat to that too. Nothing gripping, nothing where you're holding on to things, because that's going to irritate through the elbow. So walking counts. Walking is fine. Many of my clients will run. You know, many will run, many will bike ride, as long as they don't have to grip too hard on the brakes. And, you know, there are ways and means around that too. Rowing is absolutely out. That is a no, because of obviously the gripping. And also elliptical. Elliptical is fine as long as you're not gripping onto the handles and kind of doing the handle movement. Some can get away with swimming as well. Some clients will swim and be comfortable. It is basically try it and see. So if it works for you, that's great. But 30 minutes of cardio exercise every single day is going to be helpful. But today we're talking about heat and ice. So if you were in the challenge last time, you'll know that once I've sort of talked about the thing that I'm talking about, I do have a task for you. So your task for today is to get heat on that elbow. So it doesn't matter whether it is a heating pad or a hot towel or a hot water bottle or a hot shower or a warm blanket or any of those things that we've talked about. But that is your task for today. I want 10 minutes, and depending on the time of day, try and get as many sessions in as you can. Your goal is for 5 times in the day. So try and get as many as you can in today, and then from tomorrow you're going to start with 5 times. You're going to try and get into that routine, because the things that I'm going to teach you this week all build upon each other. And so if you start doing them now, don't stop. You know, we really need those for healing. So you're going to keep doing those. Now, I've also mentioned about prizes, because we do have prizes in the challenge as well. Can I get a woo? Can I get some thumbs up or hearts for that? Because there are prizes. Come on, guys, we get prizes. So I'm going to tell you about the prizes. So we have 2 prizes. The first prize is for the Challenge Community Champion. And it's always a bit of a mouthful. I have to be kind of careful what I'm saying. Challenge Community Champion. That is basically the person who is in the challenge, being supportive to everybody, commenting on how other people are doing, encouraging, liking their posts, that type of thing. So whoever is the most supportive over this week will win our Challenge Community Champion prize, which is a heating pad. So, and it doesn't matter wherever you are in the world, I will get it to you. So last time, obviously I'm in the US, last time our winner was in the UK. So he got it. So if you are looking for a heating pad, become our Challenge Community Champion, I will send you one. That's the first prize. The second prize that we have is our grand prize. So I need a drum roll for this. The grand prize is a 30-minute session with me. So that would be a Zoom call. So again, it doesn't matter where in the world you are. It will be a Zoom consultation, 30 minutes with me. You can tell me your story, and I will give you the hints and tips that you need for settling your elbow down right now, right, your story. Obviously, everything I do during the challenge, it's a little bit generic because we're trying to fix as many elbows as possible, but everybody's story is different. You know, I got I had three new elbow patients or one-on-one clients last week, and every single one of their stories is different. So not everybody starts in exactly the same way. There's a lot of similarities, obviously, but everybody's story is different. So if you win the grand prize, you will get a 30-minute complimentary consultation with me to tell me your story, and I will give you the hints and tips that you need right now for the phase that you're in and for healing. So if you are interested in winning that prize, all you have to do is take part every day of the challenge, because there'll be a task and there'll be a post to put into the group so that I can see that you've taken part in the challenge every day this week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then come to the masterclass on Monday. I'm doing a masterclass on Monday. So these lives will probably be about 20 minutes, half an hour there or thereabouts. Depends how much I talk. I do like talking. But then the masterclass on Monday will probably go a little longer, because we'll go through all of the self-help strategies that you can use at home. So everything I give you to do is going to be things that you can do at home starting right now. So that masterclass will be on Monday, same time, 9 o'clock in the group. So same time, same place. But if you want to be in with a chance of getting that half-hour session with me, post your results through the challenge this week, and then attend the masterclass on Monday, and there will be a winner. So what do you have to do for today? So today's task, as I told you, you're going to be doing the heat. So I want you to take a picture of your heat, whether it's a hot water bottle, whether it's a hot towel, whether it's a warm blanket, whether it's a heating pad, whatever you've got. I want you to take a picture of your heat on there. When we did this last time, you know, some people were quite happy to have their faces in there, other people didn't, and it's completely fine. It's entirely up to you. But a picture of the heat and the hashtag challenge day 1. And you're going to post it in the group. So post it in this group, challenge day 1. And then you're going to join me tomorrow. So we'll come back same time, same place tomorrow. And I'm going to talk all about exercise, lifting, weights, all of that kind of thing. So, hey, Rob, no, not a problem. So just before I go, because I do have somebody standing over here waiting for me. Just before I go, does anybody have any questions? Do you have, I mean, I've talked all about ice and heat here. I will post these videos in the announcement section as well, so that they're much easier to find. There we go. That's Harvey. I'll post these in the announcement, so they're much easier to find. So obviously you can rewatch and people can watch these. You can join in with the challenge. If you're watching the replay, if you're in Australia and you're watching the replay, I don't take offense that you didn't get up in the middle of the night. I'm with you on that, because sleep, actually we heal when we sleep, so that's really good. But if you're watching the replay, you can still join in. You don't have to complete each day's task on each day, if that makes sense. If you haven't been able to join me during the week and you're catching up and you're watching this at the weekend, you can still post all of your tasks at the weekend and join me in the masterclass. You might still win that consultation. So don't think for 1 minute if you don't post today, you've missed out. You absolutely haven't. If you want to catch up at the weekend, because that's just easier for you, you absolutely can. Post everything at the weekend. Whoever has all 3 days of the challenge in there and comes to the masterclass, you guys are all in. All right, so you guys are all in with that chance of getting that 30-minute consultation with me. So just before I go, I hope that made sense. Sometimes I'm a bit waffly, just like wind me up and off I go, but I hope that made sense. If you have any questions, if anybody wants to drop a question in the chat right now, I can answer a quick question before I'm off back to school. So thank you so much for joining me live today. I really hope that was helpful. The heat is one of the most effective things that people find. So, you know, it seems so simple, and it's like, well, is that going to make any difference? It makes a massive difference. It really does. And just to give you a little bit of background on that too, I'm gonna answer your question, Ibrahim. To give you a little bit of background, I always used to use heat, and I used to say to people 3 times a day for the heat. And then I had 2 clients who both just upped it. They were heating the heck out of these elbows, and they both got better faster. And I was like, therefore, okay, everybody now, 5 times a day as a minimum. You know, if you can heat every hour, and especially now that we are in lockdown, if you're sitting at home and you're working from home and we're at home, if you can get that heat on every hour through the day, you can get yourself into that routine. You're going to heal faster. You just will, because you're increasing the circulation. Remember, the blood flow that comes in brings the building blocks for healing, and you get better faster. So, you know, heat the heck out of it. That's my new catchphrase. I feel like I need a t-shirt with that. Heat the heck out of it. Might trademark it. So, but heat the heck, take a picture, post it in the group, and then you're going to be in with a chance to win a 30-minute consultation with me. All right, I'm going to answer some questions. So is there anything I can do to relieve pain in the middle of the night? That is a great question. In the challenge in September, I did talk about this. The last day of the challenge in September was all about this, because it was such a big thing that people were asking. In the middle of the night, definitely, you know, certainly that there is generally a neck component, and the neck exercise that I teach is the first exercise for getting rid of tennis elbow is immensely helpful. So I do say for people to do that. If you haven't seen that, again, perhaps I'll link that in the comments here. I'll put the link to that exercise in the comments to that video so you can watch that. But again, using heat just before you go to bed, and using heat on your neck, using heat on your elbow just before you're going to bed. It's a challenge because some people get uncomfortable when they're sleeping with their arm out straight, and it's, when they bend it, it's stiff. Some people, I would say probably more people, get uncomfortable because they're kind of sleeping with their elbow bent like this, and it's, then it gets really stiff. If it's that you kind of, this is what you're doing and the elbow is bent, I have had clients get really good relief from rolling up a towel into a sausage shape. So imagine like a rolled towel along the arm, and then they've wrapped it loosely with sort of a bandage or something like that to keep it on there. Now what that does, it just means that you can't fully bend the elbow. So it just kind of stops you. But because it's soft, it doesn't tend to wake you up at night. So that can be immensely helpful. There are some braces out there that will do that, but I don't think you need to go spend any money. I would say just try that, you know, and see if that's helpful. The other thing you might need to look at is your pillow, because sometimes pillows are uncomfortable for the neck, and then you have that knock-on effect down the elbow. So that can be part of the reason too. But if you're waking up at night and it's uncomfortable, the first thing I would say is flip onto your back and do the neck exercise, and I will link that in the comments. I hope that helps. Okay, there's spices that can help, like black pepper, turmeric, ginger. Turmeric is reportedly really good for inflammation and reducing inflammation. Although there are some studies that are kind of debating its effectiveness, it's not going to do you any harm. Now, it's good for inflammation. If you've had tennis elbow for more than 3 months, there's probably not a lot of inflammatory cells there. There's probably not a lot of inflammation there. Unless you flare it up. You know, we talked about that acute flare that you can get. If there's an acute flare, absolutely there's inflammation there, and that's why we switched to the ice, and maybe something like the turmeric can be effective at that time. But generally in longer term tennis elbow issues, there's no inflammatory cells there. And so that's why anti-inflammatories don't work. So it won't do you any harm, I will say that. If you are having good success with it, I had one lady and she would take turmeric and ginger tea and she swore by it. You know, it made her feel much better. I was like, okay, yeah, fine, if that works for you, because we're all different as well. If you found something that works for you, stick with it. So that absolutely won't do you any harm. So that's completely fine. But I wouldn't say you necessarily have to go out and buy stuff if you've not, you know, maybe try it, but if it's not working for you, it's not something you need to continue trying, if that makes sense. What about a special long sleeve to make it warm to wear during the day? How to put it in if so tennis and golf is in both arms. I see. So it's hard to put it on because it's affecting both sides. So a long sleeve to keep it warm. Sometimes that can be helpful. It sounds like it might be a bit too tight if you're struggling that much to get it on. You mean just like a neoprene sleeve, right? Yeah, that can definitely keep it warm. I mean, you could get the same effect with just wearing lots of layers, you know, get an extra sweatshirt on, get an extra sweater on, jumper if you're in the UK. They don't call them jumpers over here, it's sweaters. It's funny. I'm bilingual now. But just extra layers, I would say, and then additional heating pad over the top would be better. If you're struggling to get that on and it feels like it's flaring your arms up while you're doing that, I would say it's probably not worth it. You're better off with the external heat. If you have it in both arms and it's golfers and tennis on both arms, that's coming from your neck, 100%. And the neck exercise that I put in the chat, that's the one that you need to start as well. And you probably need to be heating here as well as here. So I'll pop that in the chat for you too. For the neck exercise. That's hilarious, Rob. So you get a triple chin and not a double chin. That is completely fine. I think you probably get extra points for that. So yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, if you guys are good, thank you so much for being with me this morning. It's been so much fun. I've really enjoyed that. I love teaching and I love helping people. Obviously, that's what I do. So I'm here to help. If you do have any questions, ping me a message in the group. You know, if you've got a question, somebody else is probably thinking that same thing too. So feel free to, you know, post it in the group. You won't see your post come straight away. I monitor every single post that comes into the group because I want to maintain quality in the group. So I don't allow posts that are selling this, that, and the other that you know, they're saying are going to help tennis elbow. I've been doing this for a long time. I know what works and I know what doesn't work. So I maintain the quality of this group so that you can be assured that every bit of information is evidence-based. Every bit of information that comes through is, you know, is correct. So if you don't see a post straight away, it's just that I've not got to it to approve it yet. But if you're putting a question in the group, I'll obviously approve those, because the more people that see that question and see the answers, the more people we can help. So please do that. That'd be great. All right. So just to recap, go get your heat, take the picture of the heat, post it in the group. Hashtag challenge day one, or day one challenge, whichever way around I said. I'll see it. But yeah, get doing that, because as I say, there are prizes up for grabs. Support each other. You know, this is the beauty of this group, is you guys are all in the same boat. Let's work together, support each other, bring everybody along. All right, and that's what we're going to do. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. All right, have a lovely, lovely day and take care. Bye.